Today I'm going to give you the brief overview of what is meant by microenvironment, which are the players in microenvironment, and then macro level environment. So let's start. So when we talk about microenvironment, it constitutes of the players or the major actors which are being highlighted over here on the screen. The first actor under microenvironment is the company itself, the company's overall environment. For example, company to company, organization to organization, the environment is different. If you look at the environment of Google, it would be entirely different from the environment of Microsoft, and the environment of Dell company will be entirely different from that of HP. So when we talk about environment, what does it mean? It does not talk about the ambience, but actually it talks about the culture of the people, their values, beliefs, and the systems which are binding them to achieve a goal for the organization. So, micro environmental forces are in the control of the organization. The organization can very well adjust to these kind of players or these actors, and that is how we need to study as to how the micro environmental forces can affect the business decision making, or these can influence your overall business strategy. So we have the company. The second micro environmental force is your supplier. The third one is marketing intermediaries, the channel partners. Then we have the competitors. Then followed by competitors, we have the general publics, and finally the customers. So these six players are considered as the micro environmental forces. Whenever we study marketing or economics, these are the six players which will constitute the micro environmental forces. So let's study and understand one by one what these micro environmental forces are. So when we talk about the company, as I gave you the example, Google, they have a different work culture, they have a different set of environment, people are behaving differently. For example, some organizations are very flexible towards their employees. Employees can punch it at any time and they have to work for certain number of hours and they can punch out. Some of the organizations are providing a lot of welfare benefits and facilities, while others are not so much keen on providing such kind of welfare measures. So this is all about the perception, beliefs, values, and ethics, and all other things which constitute the culture of the organization, and that culture affects the micro environment of the company. So the company's overall environment is going to be influenced by, first of all, the top management. What top management thinks about the organization? Are they aggressive in their approach, or are they very much reserved in their approach? For example, if the top management is very aggressive in their approach, then you will find that they are constantly upgrading and reviving and innovating their products. For example, ITC. ITC has come up with a wide range of FMCG product in the market, and it is one of the best FMCG company in this country. They come up with the product, they launch the product so fast that the other companies are lagging behind, and that is why ITC has been considered as the fastest innovating company in the country. And for that purpose, they have the people from the creamy layer institutions. They do the head hunting rather than recruitment and selection, because they know that a person who is already performing better in some company, if they hire that person directly, it will save the cost of the organization. So that is the philosophy of the company, and because of that, the company is achieving good growth prospects. So the top management is one. Now, if you look at some companies which have not changed their business strategies, there are some other FMCG companies also which have not revised, which have not innovated. They are constantly selling the same products, and they are unable to create a market positioning. They are unable to create a brand equity, a powerful brand image, just because the people thinks that the company is not innovating. The company is selling the same product for a very long period of time. So that these kind of things can be possible if the top management is having that particular approach towards the market and approach towards the business. So top management influence the overall strategic planning because they are at the top. Whatever the decisions are going to be implemented, that will take place at the mid level and at the lower level, but these policies and the strategic decisions are being formulated at the top management level. Then talking about the finance, if the finance department is very much reserved, there are two types of people or two types of organization. One is risk taker, which always loves to take the risk irrespective of whatever the trend in the market, they always constantly adapt themselves in terms of technology, in terms of innovation, in terms of people, in terms of process and other things. So the finance department plays a very vital role in that. If the finance department is risk taker, they will be always investing the money in the new and new projects. But if the finance department is not so much risk taker, they will be called as a risk averse. In that scenario, there is a possibility that even though there is a new technology, even though the new persons are supposed to be hired, the organization will not give any attention towards it because the organization is risk averse. वो risk को avoid करना चाहते हैं, वो risk को avoid करना चाहते हैं rather than risk लेने के बजाय, right? Then the next example is R&D. R&D is considered as the heart of any manufacturing organization today. That is, the full form is research and development. So when I talk about research and development, basically it means constantly you are innovating and adding new improvements in the production or in the product lines by way of your innovations. Let's take an example of GREE. GREE is one of the largest air condition manufacturer in the world. They have the largest plant in China. Out of 10 AC manufacturing companies, they are supplying AC to almost 7 brands in India and rest of the world. GREE is so popular that they have more than 5,000 technology patent in their name. Still, no one knows about the GREE because they believe in doing R&D activities. They believe in doing innovation, but they don't communicate. उनका कहना यह है, उनकी कंपनी की फिलॉसफी है, उनका विजन है, काम करो मुंह बंद रखो, काम करो मुंह बंद रखो, और इसकी वजह से ग्री को कोई जानता नहीं था। अभी यहां पर आगरा में एक पर्सन है जिसका नाम है अमित हिटलर। ये एक एसी की कंपनी में डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के अंडर में, डीएसए के अंडर में काम कर रहा था। इसको पूरा आगरा का जोन मिला हुआ था, यूपी ईस्ट में। धीरे धीरे उसने वहां पे रियलाइज किया कि ये जो एसी बनाने वाली ये जो कंपनी है, ये कंपनी वो पर्टिकुलर ब्रांड नहीं है, उसको एसी कोई और बना के देता है और उसका टैग लगा के देता है। तो उसने ये सोचा कि अगर उस कंपनी को एक्सक्लूसिव राइट के थ्रू अगर इंडिया में लेके आए तो ये कंपनी का बिजनेस बढ़ सकता है और साथ ही साथ उसको भी प्रॉफिट होगा। So then what he did was he went to China and he tried to convince the managing director of the company to give him the exclusive right. As he was the risk taker, he just left his job and he tried to convince the managing director of GREE so that the company managing director can give them the exclusive right for distribution of GREE AC in India because no one is aware about the GREE brand. It is one of the most effective, innovating brand in this world today. If you talk about LG, if you talk about Lloyd, if you talk about Panasonic, if you talk about Samsung, almost every company is getting some particular parts, some particular components which are being already patented by GREE and you are using it. Recently, they have come up with an air conditioner which is consuming only 240 watt of electricity, and that is just equivalent to the power consumption by your ceiling fan. So in the same particular power consumption, they are giving you the benefit of AC. With the double cylinder technology, they have innovated and they have got the patent also. They are providing the same technology to various other companies. So that is just because of the R&D activities. After this session, I would request you to go and check about the company, and you will be surprised to know that how Amit Hitler has become a millionaire in India just by getting the exclusive right. After 3 years of failed attempts, in the third year, he got successful to convince the company to give him the exclusive right for India. And now he is selling this particular brand across India to large number of franchisees, large number of distributors because he is having the exclusive right for it. And people, those who were not aware about it, they have now become aware because the R&D of the company is so powerful that the brand does not require any promotion by way of advertisement. People, those who are buying, they are giving positive word of mouth publicity to some other people, and this is how the chain has been formed. So R&D is very important. Every year, Microsoft invests about 5 billion US dollars as per the report only on the research and development activity. That is how the Microsoft company today has been considered as the innovating company. There was a time when they used to copy the Apple products and Apple applications, but today they are innovating because they know that if they won't innovate through R&D efforts, probably they will be out of the competition. Now let's take an example of Pentium. During my time, when we started using the PC, that time there were only Intel Core processors. Then those Intel Core processors have got evolved to Core i10 generation processors today. So this is how the innovation has taken place only by virtue of the research and development activities. Let's talk about the purchasing part. Now, there are companies which are very much clear about their agenda that they will get the best raw material in order to produce the best finished products. But there are some companies which are compromising with the quality aspect. For example, if you look at the global tomato ketchup brand, its name is Heinz, one of the fantastic brand. Wherever you go, you will find the same taste and the same flavor because they are very much particular about choosing the quality of the tomato. If you take the real juice, real fruit juice, if you take the Tropicana, you will get the same flavor across the country because they know that what quality should be allowed. And that is how the quality manager works along with the purchasing department. So purchase department has a very crucial role in deciding about the overall business, in creating a positioning of the brand, in the brand equity part and other things. If the purchase department is having constraints in the budget, probably they will not be able to provide the good quality raw material to the production department, and subsequently the production department will not be able to produce the quality output. So this is how the micro environment can be affected. But as you can see until now, the top management, if they are not going with the line, if they are not going with the market, the top management can change their strategy. Finance department can be changed. R&D department can be improvised. Purchase department can also be improvised because these are under cover control. That is why this company itself is being considered under the micro environmental force. The next example is the operations part. Now, various companies are now coming with the new methods in order to streamline the process and in order to cut down the cost and improve the quality. For that purpose, many companies have already started with just-in-time approach. Some of the companies have implemented Six Sigma. Many manufacturing companies have gone for the 5S. These are the Japanese methods for improving the quality, reducing the cost factor, eliminating the waste. So all these things are the part of the operations. So the operation department also very much responsible for the quality and for the output as well as for creating a positive brand image. Let's take an example of Wagh Bakri Chai. So in case of Wagh Bakri Chai, there Mr. He was actually a Gujarati, and he went to England, and he wanted to have a cup of coffee, but he was dragged outside this particular showroom and so from this particular coffee outlet because Indians were not allowed to take the sip of the coffee at that time along with the British people, and this was an insult. Because of that embarrassment, he decided that I will also open up one particular coffee manufacturing plant, as he was already having the tea estate with him. So he started producing the tea, and with that particular tea, what happened? The Wagh Bakri name came because he was mixing the Brook Bond tea with the tea dust. So it was being made affordable to all the common public. So that was the excellence of the operations team. Because of that, they have procured the tea dust from some other supplier and they had mixed it up with the Brook Bond tea. And this particular tea manufacturer, this particular person has created Wagh Bakri as a brand in the market today. And it is one of the very famous brand in Maharashtra today because it has got a very strong flavor. And people, those who would love to take a strong tea, should go for this particular tea. And that is how this particular operation excellence is being given before you. There are other examples also. Maruti, they have implemented a 5S system. Now, when you talk about the 5S system, so in 5S system, they talk about elimination of waste and improving the quality at different stages, right from the workplace to the place where you are executing the operations. So operations has very important role to do in improving the quality, improving the profits, and thereby reducing the cost of the organization. So that is how organizations are implementing total quality management. They have just in time, they have Kanban, they have Kaizen, all these things are there. Then accounting practices. These are very important. Organizations are required to be very fair and very transparent with their stakeholders. There are some organizations which generally manipulate their accounting records. Example is Satyam case. In case of Satyam Ramalinga Raju, he manipulated his balance sheet, and that is how you know what consequences he has faced. So there are a lot of other examples also wherein the organizations are not fair with their particular people. So all these things you need to take care of. When we talk about the management, when we talk about the companies, companies have to be fair enough in order to uh, just provide the fair information and the transparent information to their internal and external stakeholder groups. You should not hide anything from your stakeholders. Otherwise, if you hide it, people will never have a trust on you. So this is very important. Now, until now, is the point clear to everyone? Shubham, Suraj,
Yes, sir.
Dhananjay, Karthik? Okay. So, as I was telling you about the marketing environment, and so far I have covered the company as an element of micro environment. Accounting practices are very important. Suppose there is a company which is doing a business in some other country. If they won't follow the international accounting standards, probably they will not be able to make a consolidated statement. They can prepare a standalone statement for the organization, but for the consolidated statement, there will be a lot of problems. So that is how the organizations are today implementing the global practices of accounting so that there would be least hurdle while presenting such similar statement to the other stakeholder groups which are outside the country, because there may be some investors who would be ready to invest money in the company by way of buying the shares of the organization, by way of investing in the company. So all these things are required. Then there would be some customers also whom you have to influence. Then there would be some supplier groups also, government organizations also, whom you have to tell about your performance for the last couple of years, for example. So all these things comes under the company perspective. Now, when we talk about the micro environment, as you can see on this particular picture, the departments within the company, they impact the marketing planning very much. For example, there are some organizations which are very much reserved. People don't like to communicate with each other because they are working in silos. And due to these kind of watertight approach or these kind of philosophies, the organizations never grow. Everyone thinks that the other person is just dumb. There are such organizations also. Whereas you will find that there are other multinational companies wherein the departments within the company, they are very much cooperative to each other. They provide the information very easily and they are very much supportive to each other. These kind of things are very rarely seen in case of Indian companies. And that is how the micro environment is greatly affected. Now, as I was talking about the departments, in an organization, you have several departments. For example, you have HR department, you have finance department, you have marketing and sales department, right? Then you have treasury department, you have purchase department, you have operations department, you have welfare department, you have industrial relations department. All these departments are working together, but people in the organization that actually decides the culture of the organization, and the culture is very greatly affected if the people are not in alignment with that particular philosophy of the organization. So departments have to play a very important role, and for that purpose I have purposefully kept this particular slide. There would be some cases which you will find in your lifetime wherein you will find your boss is very much cooperative, the other departments are very cooperative to you, but there is also a possibility wherein you will find that the other departments are not supportive, and at that time you will be required to get the things done from them. So this would be a challenging task for you. So you might face both the two kinds of organization. This is how the marketing micro environment is. Now, when we talk about micro environment, the next force in the micro environment is the supplier. It is the next component. When we talk about supplier, according to Michael Porter, the relationship between the suppliers and the firm characterizes a power equation between them. This equation is based on the industry conditions and the extent to which each of them is dependent on the other. Today, the suppliers are considered as the strategic business partner. Gone are those days wherein the suppliers were just considered as the vendor for the company. Today, they are not just supplying you the raw material, but they are also investing in your company. They are also providing you the credit and they are also believing in your business. That is how they are ready to invest such huge amount in the particular project. For example, if there is an automobile manufacturing company, let's take an example of car, Maruti. If Maruti wants to launch a new model in the market, they have to first convince the suppliers. And if the suppliers are ready to produce the die for those new models by taking the huge risk, because the suppliers are not aware what would be the market for these new models, whether the new model will be accepted in the market or not, still the supplier invests the money in the die by keeping in mind that at least for 5 years the die will be producing such particular models or the component parts for the new model which is going to be launched by the company. And for that reason the suppliers are to be taken into confidence today, because you know that once you invest in any kind of capital, the fixed capital, the capital expenditure decisions are irreversible in nature. Once they have invested in manufacturing a die, and die is very costly. It does not cost just $1,000. It costs starting from lakhs to crores. Depends upon the type of manufacturing, depend upon the type of component part, how sophisticated the part is. And if they are investing crores of money in this particular die, and ultimately if the product get filled, what will happen is the supplier will be out of cash. When they become out of cash, they might become insolvent. So today, according to Michael Porter, the relationship between the supplier and the firm characterizes the power equation between them. How strongly you are relating to your supplier, how strongly the supplier is believing in you. If the supplier has lot of trust in you, the supplier will have more faith in supplying the raw material or in supplying the inventory to you rather than supplying it to any other competitor. And in this competitive environment, you know that all other companies are ready for taking such an opportunity to get the maximum profit in terms of purchases by purchasing in volumes and thereby negotiating with the cost from the suppliers. So this equation is very important. Now, if you take an example of Maruti, there was an agreement of Maruti with the suppliers that every year the suppliers will have to cut down the cost irrespective of the inflation. Now the suppliers were in jeopardy. They thought how the price can be reduced, how the cost will be reduced when there is an inflation. But then they have resorted to research and development activities. Still today, many suppliers are providing the component parts, assembly parts to the Maruti company as an original equipment manufacturer at a lesser price as compared to the previous accounting year, just because of innovation, just because of R&D activity, because the supplier has invested their trust in the company is able to get the profits. So it is a mutual beneficial situation for both the supplier as well as for the company. In recent trends, companies can lower their supply cost and increase their product quality. So this is how it is also important. The companies can convince the supplier how the supplier can reduce the supplying cost, the cost of logistics by giving the orders in bulk, and thereby whatever the cost is being saved, that can be used for improving the quality of the production. So suppliers are very important element for your micro environment. When you study micro environment, you have to study the suppliers as well. Until now, is the point clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So let's talk about intermediaries. When we talk about intermediaries, again, intermediaries play a very vital role. When we say intermediary, it means the channel members, distributors, stockists, retailers, carrying and forwarding agents are considered as the intermediaries. So, according to the marketing concept, marketing intermediaries refers to the reseller, the physical distribution firms, the marketing service agencies, the financial intermediaries, and these are the people that help the company to promote, sell and distribute its products to the final buyers. Intermediaries are very important because the manufacturer cannot sell their product to the market directly. Let's take an example of this pen. If it is being manufactured by Pilot Company, for example, Pilot Company will not be able to sell this product to the entire market. It could be a geographic area, or it could be entire continent, or it could be rest of the world. They need intermediaries for reaching at the target customers. They also need intermediaries for creating awareness of the brand as well as awareness of the product. So intermediaries are really very important. And when we talk about intermediaries, we have physical distribution firms, which are called as the third party or the fourth party logistic companies. Then we have the marketing service agencies, which are doing the marketing on your behalf. For example, most of the advertisement which you see during the commercial break in your OTT platform, as well as during the commercial breaks of your TV serials, these advertisements are solely made by one big company. The company's name is Ogilvy. You can find out the name. Almost 70 to 80% of the market share is with Ogilvy company. It means out of 10 advertisement, more than 7 advertisements which you see during the commercial break are being produced by Ogilvy company. Whether it is an Airtel advertisement, whether it is advertisement of Jio, whether it is the trailer of any new movie, Ogilvy is everywhere. So, as I was saying, these are marketing service agencies which are working for you for creating the brand awareness, for promoting your product to the target customers. So, these are the agencies which are working for you. Next is, for example, McDonald's. Now, McDonald's is one intermediary for Coca-Cola products. So, when we talk about Coca-Cola, they have other brands like Sprite, Fanta, and Thumbs Up. So when you look at the MACD, Coca-Cola is selling large volumes to all the MACD chains in rest of the world as well as in India also. So Coca-Cola knows that this intermediary is giving them huge amount of business. So they will always consider the intermediaries as the strategic partner. When you go to Pizza Hut, they have the tie-up with Pepsi. You will only find Pepsi over there or the Pepsi products because earlier it was owned by the Pepsi group. Later on, it was sold to Yum Brands. KFC and Pizza Hut belongs to Yum Brands, and the philosophy is still same. So these are the intermediaries which are playing the strategic role also today. And for that purpose, you need to consider the intermediaries also. Now, the manufacturer has to decide the most cost effective method of intermediaries to reach the product to the consumers that will help to increase the products or profits. सो आज की तारीख में क्या है, अगर एक मैन्युफैक्चरर है वो ये देखता है कि कौन से इंटरमीडियरी को वो चूज करे जिसकी वजह से उसको कम टाइम में ज्यादा प्रॉफिट हो जाए और उसकी कॉस्ट बच जाए. फॉर एग्जांपल न्यूज़पेपर. न्यूज़पेपर एक एजेंट के थ्रू या एजेंसी के थ्रू आपके घर तक सुबह सुबह आ जाता है. लेकिन अगर उसी न्यूज़पेपर को अगर उसमें चैनल मेंबर्स बढ़ा दिए जाएं कि पहले वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के पास जाएगा, वहां से स्टॉकिस्ट के पास से सब स्टॉकिस्ट, और देन फाइनली इट विल गो टू द एजेंट एंड देन द एजेंट विल डिलीवर द न्यूज़पेपर एट योर होम. क्या होगा, वो न्यूज़पेपर शाम तक आपके घर में पहुंच पाएगा. और जब वो शाम तक पहुंचेगा, इट इज अ वेरी शॉर्टली लिव्ड प्रोडक्ट इन द मार्केट. देर रात बनता है, अर्ली मॉर्निंग उसका यूज होता है, उसकी लाइफ खत्म. अगर किसी के घर में 11 बजे 12 बजे कोई न्यूज़पेपर आएगा तो उसको चपाती पैक करने में या शूज को साफ करने में काम आता है. क्यों? क्योंकि उसकी लाइफ ही उतनी है न्यूज़पेपर की. लोग न्यूज़पेपर को सुबह पढ़ना पसंद करते हैं. कुछ लोग होते हैं जो दिन भर उसको पढ़ते हैं, ये ऐसी भी क्राउड है 5% ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन, बट मेजोरिटी जो है, अगर आपने न्यूज़पेपर दिन का दिन में नहीं पढ़ा तो आप उसको बाकी के कामों में इस्तेमाल करते हैं. सो मैन्युफैक्चरर को क्या चाहिए, प्रिंटिंग प्रेस को, कि ये न्यूज़पेपर फास्टेस्ट मोड से अपने एंड कंज्यूमर तक पहुंचे. एंड फॉर दैट पर्पस दे चूजेस ओनली वन single particular intermediary, and the single intermediary are the agents, the newspaper hawkers or the agents. Through the newspaper hawkers, the newspaper can be easily distributed to the market. But when you talk about the FMCG products, for example, a Parle G brand, now if the Parle G has to reach every corner of the market, right from pan wala to tapri wala to kirana store to general store to supermarket to hypermarket and to online space also, though they will require the extensive distribution strategy, and for extensive distribution strategy they will need more number of players, and these more number of players will ensure that the product is reaching to every corner of the market. Everyone is getting the product on time and is also satisfied. When you see the luxury company, luxury car manufacturing companies, for example, they don't have many players in the chain, because if they keep more number of players, the cost will be further increased. So in case of luxury car manufacturing companies, some of the companies are directly selling their products to the company through their exclusive outlets. For example, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, Mercedes Benz is also some example. In some areas, it is also an example. So Lamborghini, Bugatti, Porsche, then Ferrari are never sold through dealers. They are sometimes sold directly through the exclusive company outlet. So the manufacturer is deciding the cost of distribution, the cost of supply chain, by rationally choosing the intermediaries, the people, those who are going to be in this particular chain, who are going to deliver the product to the end customers. Because these people are directly engaging with the customers, they are very important to the company, because they are providing the feedback to the company, based on which the company is doing the research and development, the company is changing their products. Entirely they are depending on the intermediaries, because intermediaries are providing the first hand information which is entirely unbiased in nature. So intermediaries are very important, and you have to consider them as your strategic partner also. Now look at the uh, fast food restaurant Subway. Now this is the glass of Subway. Subway is doing their marketing. Ultimately what Subway is doing, they are pouring this particular cold drinks or the non-alcoholic beverage of Coca-Cola brand. In this way, it is they are doing the umbrella branding. It means they are promoting the other brand also, but under their brand name. So these are the new things in marketing, the new trends in marketing which are taking up. Now, when we talk about the types of marketing intermediaries, let us understand what types of marketing intermediaries exist in market today. So one intermediary is called as a reseller. It includes the distributors, the wholesalers, the retailers. These are selling the product again to the end customers, right? So distributor is reselling the product to the stockist or to the retailer. Retailer is selling the product to the sub stockist. So reselling is taking place. The product is not reaching the end consumer, but the product is reaching to the next channel member, which is further selling the product to the next channel or probably to the end consumer. So these are called as the resellers. Next is the physical distribution firms. I gave you the example of DHL Logistics, First Flight Couriers. There are lot many. Uh, so what these organizations are doing is they are performing the role of physical distribution on behalf of the companies. So these are also very important. Now we have marketing service agencies also. I gave you the example of Ogilvy. Financial intermediaries. Financial intermediaries are banking companies, non-banking financial companies like SDFC Bank, IDFC, IDBI, some chit fund companies. These are providing the financial assistance and capital venture financing to such kind of intermediaries. Until now, is the point clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we are moving ahead, and I'm going to discuss about the next element of your micro environment, that is your competitor. When we talk about competitor, according to Philip Kotler, the best way for a company to grasp the full range of its competition is to take the viewpoint of a buyer. बायर की नजरों से अगर आपने देखा तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि कंपटीशन क्या है. अगर बायर को पता है कि इस ब्रांड की टक्कर का कोई नहीं, क्यों पड़े हो चक्कर में जब कोई नहीं है टक्कर में, जब बायर ये बोलता है लोगों को, तो इसका मतलब कंपनी को पता है कि ये कस्टमर मेरे अलावा कहीं नहीं जाएगा, राइट? देन व्हाट डज अ बायर थिंक अबाउट, what is the perception of the buyer? It is very important that eventually leads to purchasing something. अगर आज मैं एक टूथपेस्ट भी खरीदने जा रहा हूं तो उसके पीछे का परसेप्शन क्या है, राइट? अभी इंडिया में ही बात करते हैं. कोलगेट आज की तारीख में नंबर 1 ब्रांड है. in case of toothpaste. Now, when Colgate was launched in India in 1950s, that time Colgate got miserably failed in Indian market. उसका रीजन क्या था? कोलगेट जो था वो पेस्ट में लॉन्च किया गया था और इंडियन कंज्यूमर को उस टाइम पे आदत थी दंत मंजन रगड़ने की. ये चीज समझते समझते कोलगेट को काफी टाइम हो गया. देन अगेन दे लॉन्च देयर टूथ पाउडर एंड दिस टूथ पाउडर इज लॉन्च स्पेशली फॉर इंडिया. दुनिया के किसी भी कंट्री में आप चले जाएंगे कोलगेट का टूथ पाउडर आपको नहीं मिलेगा, बट दे आर सेलिंग दिस प्रोडक्ट इन इंडिया just because of the mindset of the people, those who are in rural India. Still today many rural people, they are fond of tooth powder rather than using the toothpaste. So this is how the competition is. अगर कोई कंपनी टूथ पाउडर बना रही है, बायर उसी को ही ले रहा है, तो कंपटीशन आपने बायर के एंगल से देखा, कंपटीशन आपने कंज्यूमर के एंगल से देखा, तो आपको समझ में आ गया कि आप मार्केट में कहां स्टैंड करते हैं. लेकिन अगर बायर किसी और चीज को प्रेफरेंस दे रहा है, इसका मतलब आप कंपटीशन में पीछे हैं. कहीं ना कहीं आपके अंदर कुछ कमियां हैं, समवेयर यू आर लैकिंग बिहाइंड. दैट इज व्हाई द कस्टमर इज गिविंग प्रेफरेंस टू सम अदर ब्रांड और टू सम अदर प्रोडक्ट. Right? For example, if I tell you to give me the name of your favorite fast food chain, 70% of my audience will say McD is your favorite fast food chain. If it is a burger, if it is anything, just because McD has created their positioning in such a way that they are not just selling the product, they are also giving you the experience of the fantastic ambience, right? They are never opening any such outlets of MACD in any subprime location. Always you will find MACD in a prime location of the city. In Northeast India, 700 chains of MACD got closed because Northeast people had not accepted MACD as a brand because their uh, preference is for the rice food. Rice has been considered as a staple food and they are not fond of eating the breads. So this is how the competition is. So if MACD would have launched something related to the rice, then probably they would have got successful. They have got failed in that market because of this reason, right? Okay. So until now the points are clear to everyone. Now to remain in competitive environment, a company must consider who their biggest competitors are while considering its own size and positioning in the industry. अगर कोई आज एक सेलफोन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ब्रांड मार्केट में घुसता है तो वो डायरेक्टली कॉम्पीट नहीं कर सकता एप्पल के साथ में. They can follow, they can copy some of the good philosophies, some of the good marketing strategies of Apple company, but they cannot become Apple as a brand. क्योंकि Apple केवल एक प्रोडक्ट नहीं है, उसमें लोगों की गट फीलिंग है, उसमें लोगों के इमोशंस हैं और उसको कोई खरीद नहीं सकता, उसका कोई वैल्यूएशन नहीं कर सकता. गूगल केवल एक सर्च इंजन नहीं है, गूगल से रिलेटेड लोगों के अब इमोशंस है, उनके गट फीलिंग है, उनके परसेप्शन है जिसको कोई चेंज नहीं कर सकता, उनका माइंड स्पेस है लोगों का जो ऑलरेडी गूगल ने एक्वायर करके रखा है. सो अगर आपको कंपटीशन देखना है तो आपको कॉम्पिटिटर के एंगल से नहीं देखना है, आपको बायर के एंगल से देखना है. सो दिस इज हाउ द इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज. सो आई नाउ कंक्लूड द सेशन ओवर हियर बिकॉज